Hailee Steinfeld, always there when you need her. Back when I had a lot more free time to read and read quickly, I used to share with you a lot of my favorite passages or excerpts from books and things that made me think, or quotations that really stuck out to me as relatable, just parts of a book that I would want to share if I were in an English class or a book club or anything where it would be appropriate to talk about my favorite parts of a book. And I used to do that a lot on this channel. I just haven't been reading the same lately, and I haven't had enough time to put aside while being a senior in college, applying to grad school, keeping up with YouTube and a relationship, to appreciate literature the way that I once used to. And it's really sad when you think about it, because I love books so much, and I just want to be able to actively read. I think I passively read a lot, and I would consider passively reading like the way that you read the back of a shampoo bottle or magazines in a waiting room. It's reading, but you're not really soaking up the words, whereas active reading I consider what your English teacher made you do in high school. Annotations, highlighting, like writing an essay on the concepts, and that's how I usually like to treat the novels or books that I choose to read in my free time, and that's what I'm currently doing right now. And I've got a lot of things that I want to read with you, a lot of things. Also, do we like this lighting? Do we not like it? I thought it was dramatic, and I'm going for a dramatic reading, but let's lighten it a little bit. As I was saying though, I've got a lot of good things that I want to share with you today because recently I entered my Eat, Pray, Love journey. I've hit that point in my life where it's time to delve into this highly popular #1 New York Times bestseller of the earlier decade. I remember when this came out, obviously I knew the plot, but I never thought it applied to my life. You know, like a middle-aged woman leaves her marriage and goes off to India to find herself. So I picked it up because I thought it would be light fiction. And yeah, it kind of reads quickly like fiction. I'm realizing now, about 50 pages into it, that it is so much more. As you can see, like, I literally have a pencil as a bookmark because I am reading it the way that I would read Shakespeare in high school. Although not quite as dramatic, but I am writing it up. There are a lot of parts in here where I'm like, wow, that is so well written. That is something that, like, I want to talk about and share with you. So we're going to talk about some favorite parts in this book. I hope that you don't mind because Elizabeth Gilbert is a great writer. I will say that she took me by surprise. I thought I was just going to get some fluffy fiction to pass time on right now, but I got something that's a little deeper than that, and I really like that. So first, I'm just going to start with random sentences where I'm like, yes, I relate to that, or yes, I like that sentence, or basically sentences that I underlined because I don't want to forget them. Like, I'm such a shameless student. Girl, same. Love being a student. I love being, like, praised. I feel like I'm swimming, but barely. That is my life right now. I feel like I'm swimming, but barely, and very soon I may start to drown. We all want to speak Italian because we love the way it makes us feel. This inspired me, and I underlined it because I want to, in my own journal, title the top of a page, I love the way this makes me feel, ... She wants to speak Italian in this book because she loves the way it makes her feel. What am I doing in my life that I am doing because I love the way it makes me feel? So I encourage you to start your own list. I haven't even started mine yet, so I guess I'm encouraging myself. I really like that line. I thought it was a good way to live life. And then chapter 16, which starts on page 46, if you want to follow along at home. She has this great small chapter. This book is it's like broken up into chapters, but every single chapter is kind of like this little break, and they're only a couple pages long each, but they all serve as independent pieces, if that makes sense. Like, they're strong enough where I could read it out of context. I accidentally just hit what this was on and ruined it. What I was saying is that they're strong enough where if I read them separately, I feel like you would understand it. But basically, what I was getting at is chapter 16 is so well done. She personifies depression and loneliness as these two, like, police officers almost that track her down when she's 16 days abroad, and they frisk her and they sleep with her. I wish I could just read the entire thing to you, but it's over a page long and I just feel like you would click out of the video. But it's definitely something that I would encourage you to read if you want to. I don't like this lighting anymore. A line that stuck out to me though in this chapter where she personifies depression and loneliness is when she says, "Then they frisk me." They, as in depression and loneliness. They empty my pockets of any joy I had been carrying there. Depression even confiscates my identity. But he always does that. Then loneliness starts interrogating me, which I dread because it always goes on for hours. He asks if I have any reason to be happy that I know of. He asks why I'm all by myself tonight yet again. He asks, though we've been through this line of questioning hundreds of times already, why I can't keep a relationship going, why I ruined my marriage, why I messed things up, running away to Italy like a college kid. Basically, through that small example, I hope that you can see how she was able to take two concepts, two feelings, two very relatable emotions that humans just go through, depression and loneliness, and she has, I feel like I've used the word personify so many times already in this vlog, but she does, and I think this was a great example. If I am ever at a point in my life where I finally am an English teacher and that's like where I end up, I feel like I want to take out this as an example of personification and how you can use anything and personify it, make it human. But what I did really want to share with you, the main chunk that I read last night that made me think, make a video on this, is the next chunk of a chapter, which again is only like a page long, and that is on page 49 in chapter 17, My Lucky Number. This chapter is definitely shedding light on how we discovered that the speaker was on Prozac, and when she went to Italy, she stopped taking her medication because who needs to be on antidepressants when you're in Italy? And that's kind of like her mindset behind it. But there's this really great paragraph in here. Again, I read this at like 2 in the morning last night, so we'll see how profound it is now at 11 p.m. But she goes through this kind of like self-questioning. I found it to be so relatable, and maybe you'll relate to this as well, and if not, then you understand maybe someone that does struggle with mental health. This is how some of us may think. I took on my depression like it was the fight of my life, which of course it was. I became a student of my own depressed experience, trying to unthread its causes. What was the root of all this despair? Was it psychological? Mom and Dad's fault? Was it just temporal? A bad time in my life? When the divorce ends, will the depression end with it? Was it genetic? Melancholy, called by many names, has run through my family for generations, along with its sad bride, alcoholism. Was it cultural? Is this just the fallout of a post-feminist American career girl trying to find balance in an increasingly stressful and alienating urban world? Was it astrological? Am I so sad because I'm a thin-skinned Cancer whose major signs are all ruled by the unstable Gemini? Me. Was it artistic? Don't creative people always suffer from depression because we're so super sensitive and special? Was it evolutionary? Do I carry in me the residual panic that comes after millennia of my species attempting to survive a brutal world? Was it karmic? Are all these spasms of grief just the consequences of bad behavior in previous lifetimes? The last obstacles before liberation? Was it hormonal? Dietary? Philosophical? Seasonal? Environmental? Was I tapping into a universal yearning for God? Did I have a chemical imbalance? Or did I just need to get laid? I love that paragraph. I think that is my favorite paragraph of this entire novel because it's the definition of overthinking. Like, I do this every single day. I do it nonstop. I have no idea what the causes of half of my emotions that I go through. I will cry and my boyfriend will be like, why are you crying? And at first I'm like, duh, don't you realize? And then when I realize that sometimes I can't answer him, then in my head I think about everything that she goes through, everything that she is questioning herself. I question, will we ever know if it's philosophical, logical, hormonal, universal, cultural, genetic? Like, I have no clue. Is it a mix of everything? And in the humor too of just, or did I just need to get laid? Maybe it's a mix of everything. What a large number of factors constitute a single human being. Yeah. So that's where I am right now with Eat, Pray, Love. Where did the pencil go? My hair ate the pencil. There it is. That is where I'm at right now with Eat, Pray, Love. I'm not that far into it, but as you could imagine, my life is very stressful right now. I just need to focus on school, and every time I have a little free time, the last thing that I'm doing is reading, unfortunately. I used to read so much more, like, it really makes me sad. So I'm hoping that once the semester is over and I'm on winter break, I can just whip through a bunch of novels that I've been meaning to read, and the plane ride to and from New York next week should definitely help. That is my take so far on Eat, Pray, Love. I am genuinely surprised in a good way, and I think I would recommend this. I don't know why I'm sometimes skeptical, but when pop culture and media like obsess over a certain book, part of me is like turned away from reading it because everybody else is already so obsessed with it, and I've just been let down before with things that are very overpopulated, loved, obsessed with like that. But yeah, Eat, Pray, Love. It's a good one so far. I think I've entered this era of my life. I actually started reading this because I was so convinced that I was going to be the speaker in this book. I don't know, the opening chapter, if you read this or have read it, then yeah, that was me on my bathroom floor. I'm at this stage in my life, I guess. This book is comforting. And now it's 12:34 a.m. I wasted most of my night being anxious, overwhelmed, in a haze, shut down and not doing what I need to do, not knowing what I need to do, not wanting to do what I have to do. But I have 6 nights left before I am traveling. I have 2 huge writing portfolios due, 3 essays, 1 creative project, and 1 actual final exam that I need to sit in a classroom and take with a bubble sheet and a pencil. I have 4 videos that I have to pre-schedule on my main channel, and as many vlogs as I can possibly pre-schedule. With that comes a total of 6 to 8 thumbnails that I have to make. Am I forgetting anything? Probably just showering, packing, buying a new memory card, making sure that I have enough money to put down for a hotel and food and taxis and Ubers, museum prices, my luggage even. Oh my god, am I gonna be able to do this? Well, I think I just gave myself enough to stress over to lose sleep for an entire year, so. Do you want to know what has been making me feel better though? Like literally tonight when I shut down and I was in my car and I was just staring into space because I wasn't even here physically. I was in my head. I was so sad. Once I was finally able to pick up my phone or not stare into space and kind of like collect myself, I just had this melody stuck in my head, this very comforting piano chord. I knew what I had to do.
There's glitter on the floor after the party. I can tell that it's gonna be a long road. I stay when it's hard and it's wrong or you're making mistakes. I'll be cleaning up bottles with you on New Year's Day. To the memories, they will hold on to you. I will hold on to you. I'll be cleaning up bottles with you on New Year's Day. To the memories, they will hold on to you. Hold on to the memories.